When last we spoke, we had just finished gluing down all the four edges, put them under some weights, and now welcome to this episode of Bailey the Bookman, part 2 of the case binding project on our client's Bible. When last we spoke, we had just finished gluing down all the four edges, put them under some weights, and now we are going to go check and see how that gluing turned out. And if it's a good job. Hopefully it's a good job. And then we can finish up our project. We're going to put the text block in. We're going to have to select some end papers. We're going to have to put the end papers in, then make sure that all the squares are... Anyways, we'll show you. Let's have a look at the gluing and see how we made out. So we spent quite a bit of time getting everything lined up. So the top edges and especially the foredge of the text block against the boards. It's really picky, but you have to be to make sure it's done correctly. We put a little weight here in place. So what we'll do is we'll glue up our tab here, and then we're just going to pull that over and we'll attach the board to the tab so that, because the tabs, they're cloth, so they slide around and your squares get out of square. So let's glue it up and see how we make out. Oh, okay. "50-50", so it's 50% PVA, 50% methyl cellulose. So they tend to separate if you let them sit for too long, so you got to make sure they're well mixed. That looks much better. Looks like PVA. Okay, let's do this. Now we'll be very generous with this gluing of the tab here. Make sure we get it all the critical spots. So that's soaked. Well, not soaked, but that's soaked. Pretty good. A little bit there. It's gonna come off of there. Of course, it does tend to ooze around a little bit. Okay, so I will take out this waste bit. I don't need that. Okay. Fingers crossed, here we go. So I'm just going to use palms of my hand, apply some pressure to that. because we're going to immediately turn this over, do the reverse. So squares look Yeah, pretty square. All the lines, the marks look good. So we'll carefully take this. And I'm just going to set it down. There we go. And I've cleverly got my other pieces ready here. Yeah. Gluing part is always kind of a cross between terror and fun, because once you start, there's no turning back. You just have to really hope you get it right. The fun part is when it turns out the way you are wanted to and the way you've planned to have it turned out. Okay. Okay, that's pretty good, generous amount. Just gonna take that out, remove that. I'm just going to reinsert this bit. Make sure I got zero glue on my fingers when we do this, because I don't want to get glue on the book cloth, because it tends to stain and doesn't look as nice as it can. Okay, so again, we're just going to take that, push it snugly over here. I'm just going to visually check these squares. Getting right over top of them, you can look and see, and the boards line up. They look nice. Just for laughs, I'm going to take my, there we go, we were just off like a 16th or so. Okay, so we're going to rub. Put some pressure on there. Oop, don't do that. Okay. Put my lid on here. Put all my gluey stuff over there out of the way. Now, ow. So I need to get a little bit of height, because we have a groove in the front here, and we want that. Crap, what did I do with them? Here they are. Let me think here. So that nice little brass fits right in there just like that. So I got to get the other one in place. This is not going to work the way I thought it was going to work. Okay, so I'll tell you what we're going to do instead. So I'm going to go like that. Just want to make sure everything is square here. I'm going to worry about that groove in a minute here. Get that one lined up. That one lined up. There we go. Okay. Square, come on, buddy. There we go. So I'll use the edge of this on my for the groove, and that will give us enough of a groove, I think. But I want more weight. Pile on. Okay, there we go. Okay, we're going to let these dry, and hopefully when it's dry and we take it all apart, we have a book. And then there's just a couple of more little steps to go, and we're all done. One of the hardest things to do in a project like this is to find the paste down that's going to go here and cover our hinge and tidy this all up, make it look nice. So you want to find a piece of paper that, you know, goes with the outside and the general, even the content of the book sometimes. I mean, this is a Bible, so, you know, we don't want some really wild and crazy stuff in here, you know, unicorns and zebras. So basically, I have a whole, well, not a whole, but I've got some end paper and stuff that I've accumulated that I try to see, you know, how would that look. And you know what, I don't know about you, but I don't think the green is going to work. I thought maybe it might. So I do have this roll here, all sorts of different things, styles. I don't think that's going to work. Maybe something like this. The marble. I think we need something a little, yeah. Let's see here. I wish I could get some live feedback. Okay, I'm going to try these two. That might not be too bad. That's upside down. Okay, so it's really easy to work with too. So something like that. See, that's going to go nicely with the free end papers that we inserted. I don't know. It doesn't not go with it, really. Okay, I think we have a contender there. something like this. Well, that goes nicely with the end papers as well. Is that easier to see with this light out? Maybe, I don't know. I think I like this one even better. This is called Traditioneel Schuitblad. I believe it is made in the Netherlands, or Austria, something like that. Yeah. Ooh, yeah. I think that might be a contender. I think that might be our winner, actually. Okay, I'm going to just have a quick peek through the rest of this, see if there's anything that really just kind of leaps out, and then I will show you the final decision. After a lot of deliberation and sleeping on it, I decided that we would go with this for our end papers. It was really close though. I like the darker version of it, but when this is laid in to the book and with the inserted pages that I'd put in, the arches, I think it looks pretty nice. So what we're going to do now is glue this up, which is always fun because they curl like a bugger. And then we will, let's see, push this back a little further. There we go. And then we will lay this in, put some wax paper and a tin in, put some weights on it, let it dry. Pretty much we'll be done. So let's get started. I want to be done. Let me think here. I'm going to turn this over to the clean side. I don't know if you can see very well. Whoa! See? Need a cameraman. Okay, so here's our gluing paper. Now I make some little notes on here so I know exactly which corner goes where when I'm going to lay it in, because you don't want to be goofing around. Although it's PVA, it doesn't slide around all that well. So, you know, make things as straightforward as we possibly can. Okay, here we go. Now, you don't want to let this piece, slide around and get glue all over the front of it, so we try to keep it just as solid as we possibly can when we apply our 50-50. And I generally fairly generous with this. Again, you want this to be a good yes. Quit talking and glue. See how that curls? That's just the fibers in the paper. And they will always do that. They'll curl and then usually they will uncurl. It depends if you have enough time with the kind of glue you're using for them to uncurl. And it's written in snitting. Okay. So make sure my hands are glue free. We'll line this up to our squares on the foredge and top and bottom. And so I know that is going to that line. This wants to slide this way a little bit. That wants to slide that way a little bit. And of course, the paper will stretch on you a little as well. Slide you down. Bone folder, just to get that edge tucked down in to the gutter where we want it to be, because it would look funny elsewhere. And we'll just bone folder a little. We're just gonna slide and adjust. See, that stretched a little more than I anticipated. Okay, actually pretty happy with that. I can remember the very first time I applied a paste down on a book I was working on at class in Telluride. It did not go well at all. It was very discouraging, especially when you see some of the other more experienced people doing this. It's like, oh my God. Okay. So let's take our little piece of wax paper, lay that in there. Lay our tin on top. Take our handy dandy clothespin out and just lay that down like that. Get rid of our gluey bits. I'm going to put this on our board like that. So that's both sides. I did the other side before I started this side, because you only need to see it once. Okay, let's put the weights on, and like I say, we will be as close to finished as we can be. I'll show you the end results. Well, that's been under the boards now for a few hours, so let's go over, check, see if we're finished or not. I'm optimistic. This has been a rather a fun build, and it's been going really well, so let's see what we have. Okay, I'm going to get the weights off, and ooh, you can tell these are heavy, which is good. Applies all the good pressure. Okay, I'm going to take that one out, flip this over, and be a little bit careful opening this board right out of the gate, just because it might be a little bit stiff. So always try to be as gentle as we can. Get our wax paper off. That out. This in. Oh, I don't like that. There we go. Here it is. Oh, dang. Well, it's not perfect, but it's pretty close. So that's the rear board. Everything's nicely attached. We have a nice Nice groove along there. It's good and square. No marks. It's pretty good at the front. Open it up. And there we have our end papers. So you can see how the square has appeared. Now the real trick is when you close it, if there is nothing visible there, there's just a little hint. I don't even know if you can see it poking up top there. I'd rather that wasn't there, but at least we had the same thing on the other side. The head and tail are pretty good. Again, just a slight little peak up at this corner. Nothing serious. So there we go. We open it, and we have our beautiful end papers, and our client has a beautiful, altogether, one-piece Bible. Really appreciate you hanging in. I know this one has been a bit long, but that's a case binding repair. Thanks for watching. Really appreciate it, and we'll see you next time on Bailey the Bookman.